Welcome to Contracting Conversations. My name is Scott Williams, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Jim Valley. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with Leah Arkush, DAU's Learning Asset Manager for Con 1100V, which is Contract Foundational Skills. Hey, Leah, thank you so much for being with us on the podcast today.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our updated class.
We're happy to have you back. And given that, what can you tell us about the updated Con 1100, which for FY25 will be rolling out a little differently?
So Con 1100, which is Contract Foundational Skills, it's been revised from the current 19-day virtual instructor-led and self-paced combined format. And we've shortened it into a more focused 7.5-day instructor-led course.
Hey, Leah, are there any prerequisites for the new course?
No, there aren't any prerequisites for Con 1100, but Con 1100 itself is actually the prerequisite to Con 1200, Con 1300, and Con 1400, which are the follow-on certification classes.
All right. Thank you, Leah. So one thing before I get into the rest of these questions, I just want to say that for the folks out there, 1100 is obviously squeezed into half days, but also 1200, 1300, and 1400. And so I recommend to all the people listening, especially if you're going through these process, please listen to the other recordings. They're also being condensed, and it'd be good to listen to those before you attend those. So Leah, you kind of talked about how long it is. It's 7.5 days, correct? How long is that exactly over the 7.5 days?
Okay, so for the 7.5 days, students will actually have 53 hours of actual course time that they'll need to dedicate. And that's, like we said, it's approximately 2 weeks, but that will include a compressed course for the and there'll be 7-hour days that will be together as a class. And then there'll be a lunch break as part of that. And then some days they'll have actually assigned homework, okay? But they shouldn't be working beyond a normal 8-hour day, but they will be fully engaged for the 7.5 days.
Okay, so that's great to know. I guess it depends on how people learn also, because I could see where students in some cases may need more time because of how their brain works. So that's probably the average student, I would assume.
Yes, that's definitely the average student. Some students may be able to get through, obviously, their homework quicker, or it might take them a little bit longer, but we're going for the average across that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Leah. Another thing that's coming up in FY25 is that we're going to actually go back into the classroom, and 1100 is the only course we have right now that's planning on doing that. So can you tell us a little bit about how that's going to work?
Okay, so we've actually run a couple of pilots with the in-person classes, and those have gone very well. It's exactly the same. So what we ended up doing when we set up the compressed version is we made them parallel. So if it's virtual instructor-led or if it's in person, it's exactly the same format.
Okay, great. I know our goal at DAU is try to get 75% of the 1100s in person. I think for FY25, we're looking at roughly 50% because it's not as easy as we thought it would be. But I know a lot of students hopefully are looking forward to actually having in-person Con 1100. So what can you tell us about what students will learn in this new revised version?
So the objectives are the same, okay, as they are in the current 19-day class. But the main difference is that there's not self-paced work similar to what they are currently doing. So the instructor-led lessons are going to contain facilitated exercises that are going to pull in the information that previously they went through as a self-paced portion. So it's basically an introduction to basic contracting skills and competencies. We'll cover market research, elements of a contract, and how we get to a fair and reasonable price. Okay, the most challenging and significant portion of the course focuses on the student's ability to understand and navigate through contracting regulations. That includes the FAR, the DFARS, DFARS PGI, and the DoD class deviations. Okay. We also cover some important soft skills, and those revolve around ethics, team dynamics, and communication. But all the way throughout the course, the students will have an opportunity to apply the concepts that we've learned to real-world contracting scenarios.
Leah, I'm guessing that what you learn in this course is really lays the foundation for your success in the future courses you're going to take and on the job.
Absolutely, because the things that they're learning in Con 1100 are so fundamental to our contracting workforce that we really want to make sure that they've grasped what we're trying to get them to learn in 1100. So if they don't quite make it in 1100, then they have the opportunity to retake it and revisit all of those skills that we're trying to get them foundationally.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, Leah, thank you. That was a great overview of the course. Can you talk a little bit about how students are assessed and the graded activities that are included?
Sure. So first of all, there is a pre-course assignment, and we've expanded that pre-course assignment so that there's actually more points available to them. And they do 2 self-directed readings and give us an assessment, an individual assessment, not an AI-based. We don't want an AI-based thing. We want it based on their personal experience. And that can be outside of the job if they don't have a lot of job experience. But we're really looking in that pre-course assignment for their thoughts about the 2 questions that we asked them. There's a discussion forum question, a 3-part practical exercise, and then there are 3 exams that they take throughout that course. The final thing is that they have to attend all of the class sessions. They have to complete every assignment, and then 80% of the available points enables them to successfully pass the class.
Great. Thanks, Leah.
Okay, Leah, previously you talked a little bit about, what if a student doesn't pass Con 1100? So I'd like you to talk about that, but I'd also like you to talk about, what students should do to increase their chances of passing the course. Is there anything in particular that you see that, hey, this is really something that will help them?
Sure. So if a student doesn't pass the course, then they re-register. They'll have to re-register on their own, and then they retake the class, because it's really important that the students master the fundamental contracting learning objectives before they go on to the follow-on certification classes. So the way that successful students that I've seen have actually, if they start to struggle at any given point in Con 1100, it's really important that they reach out to the instructors, because we're available for one-on-one meetings with them. We're available throughout office hours to meet up with the students, because we're really trying to make sure that they grasp these fundamental pieces of the contracting professionals' workload and how they approach their workload.
Yeah, thanks, Leah. I just think it's critical that students understand, as instructors, we want you to pass the course, but we need you to master the material, because this is going to set you up for success in your career and, as you said, in future contracting certification courses that you must take, 1200 through 1400. So if you fail, it's not the end of the world. We would rather you take the course again, and usually people that take the course again usually do very well and realize that, hey, the light bulb comes on and they really get the material a lot better the second time around. So it's something that we don't like to see happen, but also sometimes it unfortunately does, but it isn't the end of the world, in my opinion. That's my opinion, Leah. So.
No, I 100% agree, because it gives them another chance to revisit the material and get a little bit more familiar with it. So they've already had sort of an introduction to it. They just weren't necessarily successful. but now they have another chance to revisit that. And I think it really is helpful for them to have that additional chance to go through the material.
Yeah, great. 100%. I agree. I agree so much. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, Leah.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was great to talk to both of you.
No problem. And 1100 is so important. So we know a lot of people want to listen to this and find out what can they do to be successful. And it's the bedrock of our contractor certification courses. So I think it's our most important one to get the word out. So thank you.
I do too, but I might be biased.
All right, awesome. So the folks out there listening, please, you've got to listen to 1200, 13, and 1400. Those podcasts will be coming out, if they haven't already have, on the FY25 version. So please be on the lookout for that, or look for them in the iCatalog or on our site. So please, whether you're seeing us on DAU Media, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts, please smash the like button. Let us know that you like the video content. Put questions in the comments, whatever it may be. We take feedback, and so we appreciate when you put it in there. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having future contracting conversations with you.